And
go ahead and make some bread cubes for this particular recipe and put those in the bowl. And then we're going to add our salad. And if you ever have leftover salad that has a dressing already in it, it's great for a wrap. Because if the salad is wilted the next day, it does not matter in a wrap. So, you know, that's a great thing to use leftover salad for. But we are just going to have the bread in here, and we're going to have red pepper, cucumber, salad, black olives, vinegar, red onion. You could use green onion if you wanted, and some Parmesan cheese and garlic. So we'll put our dressing on there. And this would be the recipe. Because it doesn't refrigerate as well, this would be the recipe that I would have my guests at my show sampling. But if I was making it for power cooking, I could go ahead and make it. This would go in the refrigerator, not in the freezer, and I'd want to use it in the next couple of days. I probably wouldn't even put it in the wrap yet. Okay, so we want to put our chicken in there. Okay. And this will start breaking apart. And any leftover chicken is just going to be part of our soup. So, you want to open up that salad right here and toss that in there. I'm going to get a vegetable peeler. Would you put 3 cloves of garlic in there? And I'm going to have you open our olives. And if you have little stations set up because you're just doing 3 recipes, all of it. And you're just going to do, and that's the trash can get over there. You have little stations. Somebody can be doing the vegetable peelers. And a lot of times I'll put out both vegetable peelers so people can see the difference. So, you know, when you hold up the vegetable peeler, you can see that one takes a much thinner swath. So the serrated peeler is perfect for things like butternut squash and kiwis and peaches that are hard to peel, but it will take a little bit more of the flesh away. But our classic vegetable peeler does a great job on cucumbers. And the nice thing about it is you can go up and down. It is right or left-handed. And we are going to you could seed the cucumber either with the core and more or with the apple core, because a lot of people are sensitive to cucumbers. They repeat on them. I heard Doris say that one time. It was so much nicer than me saying, and it can make you burp.
do you have where's a knife you can pull that out?
There's a knife block right there. So you can have all of this stuff laid out ahead of time, but not my life. Okay, so we could either take this and use the apple core and just core down, and it would take the seeds right out of the cucumber. Or you can open it and use the core and more, or the zester. And so I'm going to use the zester to take the seed bed from the cucumbers out of there. So that, and you want to add this to our recipe right here. Okay. So I'm just using the zester and just taking the seeds right out of the cucumber with the zester. So if you don't have all the Pampered Chef tools, you know, and a lot of times there is a substitution that you can use. You don't always have to have everything that is on the recipe. So I'm just going to seed all of that and use it.
You did not need to work out more.
Okay. Sometimes it's really big garlic and I have to cut it in half. So.
Average size.
So we've got that out of there. so we're going to throw this stuff away right here, and we are going to get the Pampered Chef food chopper out. And again, when I'm doing a power cooking, I'm not taking the food chopper and washing it every single time. Sometimes I might give it a good little rinse, but you don't have to wash it in between recipes. So we're going to have Kelly throw that away, and then we are going to find our food chopper.
Behind you.
So, we are about to be done with power cooking chicken. So fast, so easy. Great little show here. Okay, on bell peppers. If you cut the bell pepper away from the seed pod, instead of cutting the seed pod out of the bell pepper, it's easy to do here. We can just throw that away unless somebody composts. Okay. So, and again, the zester scorer is great. We're just taking out the extra seeds or the white portion. And if I was going to only use half of the bell pepper, I would be leaving the stem in the part I was going to refrigerate, because the stem will continue to nourish the vegetable. So we're going to just take the chopper here, and we are going to chop up the bell pepper and then the cucumber. And I try to leave the onions to last because I am a fryer. Okay, sometimes the bell pepper needs to be flipped. Normal tomatoes can be the same way. They kind of have a tougher skin, and so sometimes you just have to, you know, do a little flipping. Or you can do the skin side first. Sometimes that prevents having to do that. This was a really large bell pepper, so I'm not going to use all of it for this recipe. I'm going to take some of it and I'm going to throw it in my broth, because any of the leftovers from a recipe become part of the chicken enchilada soup. And bell peppers are excellent in that recipe. So we're going to probably cut up a little bit more and add it to the recipe. Okay, do you see the Parmesan? Okay, it might still be in the refrigerator. Well, maybe it's right. There it is.
That's Romano.
That's good enough. Romano, Parmesan. Never had anybody be able to tell the difference. Okay, so we've got our bell peppers in there, and we're going to do our cucumbers next. Okay, has anybody been timing this? How long has it taken to make
8
3
minutes.
recipes? And do we have any more dishes than we
About
would have?
25.
I'd say 40 minutes, because I think we started at like 7:33 actually preparing and assembling.
Okay, so we're going to chop these up a little bit with the chopper. Real house, real dog. Okay. And at my shows, I find out if people don't like bell peppers or they don't like cucumbers, and then I can just add those incrementally. Okay, I'm going to have you throw a little bit of that away.
Sorry, I showed the stuff you do it.
We already have our microplane dirty from the lemons, but there's lemon in Caesar salad dressing, so it's not going to affect the flavor at all. And we are going to have somebody braid some Parmesan in here. And one of the neatest tricks that somebody taught me years ago is that our cheese grater, if you were using the rotary cheese grater, you would take the ends that are shaped like this and cut them like that, and that'll make a little square piece that fits perfectly in the rotary cheese grater, because it really doesn't take angles very well because it doesn't have equal pressure. So when you are working with a block wedge-shaped piece, just cut the angles off like this, and then you have little square blocks. But we're using the microplane, but you might have the rotary grater. So we're just going to do this really quickly. And again, it's to taste, but the nice thing about using a really strong cheese is you can use less of it. So if you're watching your calories, you would want to use a sharp cheddar because you could use about half the amount as a mild cheddar. You're going to get the same kind of flavor with a stronger cheese. So really this is probably about an ounce of Parmesan cheese. So we're going to trash. And it's really helpful if you have a batter bowl sitting here as a little Rachel Ray trash can and just, you know, start putting all of that kind of stuff in there. So, you know, onions and olives and peppers are kind of what I call cootie foods. And so I kind of check and make sure that everybody likes those, but because you're at the meeting, you're all going to like them because I like them.